I don't think anything's changed from Tubi's content perspective, and it's not focusing on news or animation or anything, one type of thing. Tubi's always been laser focused on super serving the underserved. So finding content that's hard to find for that user, and then working on getting the biggest library possible, and then personalizing all that content that we get, whether it is live news, whether it is if you're into anime, whether you're a Hispanic, African American, or just like rom-coms or anything like that. Tubi is in the place to have everything and really wants to have and has the biggest library out there for us to put the right content in front of the right person.
So tell us how advertising works kind of in that universe of so many niches and different topics. How does advertising work generally? What are some of the strategies?
Tubi's been in a position that we've been in the industry for almost 7 years now as Tubi. So we've seen this from the ground up. And really it's about finding the right audience at scale and then proving that it's worth. And it's having that conversation. And that's what I run the advanced TV team here at Tubi. And we're there to find out the needs for that advertiser and then educate them in a way to make their campaign a success. And really, our job here is to get CTV budgets to scale with the growth that we're seeing on the platform, because we are, people have been talking about the year of mobile for the last decade. And I think mobile caught up once they nailed the attribution piece, whether, I mean, we'll talk about that later, about attribution in web and mobile, but it's on CTV now to prove that the budgets that are being sent our way are being spent effectively and have a return on ROI. And that's really what we've been laser focused on from our side, is getting scalable budgets, because the eyeballs over the pandemic and even before that, we're growing a lot faster than the budgets. And we're having that conversation with advertisers to see what we can do to prove our worth, and whether that is an advanced measurement, whether that's in the ID space, we continue to have that conversation.
So speaking of identity, there's quite a lot going on. It's a big hot topic with Unified 2.0 and IDL. Which does Tubi support, and how do you see the challenges, changes lining up around identity?
It's funny because all this came about and really hit the news wires once Google announced their latest policies. But this is a space that CTV has been working in a long time. We've always been cookieless. We've always struggled with the idea of that one-to-one relationship when it's a TV, and how do we have that conversation with an advertiser when they're looking for targeted advertising. So I think Tubi's ahead of the curve here, and we plan to work with anybody really when it comes to an ID that we make sense. Right now, as you mentioned, UID 2.0 and the Trade Desk or LiveRamp's ATS product and IDL products that are coming out are really getting the most traction first, and we plan on being there originally. But it is having that one-to-one relationship without a cookie, but also that we can kind of line it up with the TV and have that same thing. There's no cookie on a TV. And how do you decide who's in front of that TV? And that's where identity comes in. And then you're going to add the privacy compliance, and how does Tubi work with advertisers in a compliant way that users are safe and opted in, and we can work with them and just prove our value to the customer of being a logged in user, but also being able to monetize that.
So what about the notion of the whole scenario around programmatic guaranteed, and where does that stand? And what are expectations around those guarantees?
Yeah, we've grown programmatic guaranteed buys exponentially. And I think our view of programmatic guaranteed in our system is very different than what you would get in a waterfall scenario or a display or just a pre-roll, because we're working in pods. We can take multiple ads. So what programmatic guaranteed is kind of works in the same way as we view an upfront, where we're able to lock in spend at a large amount and a confirmed amount originally when the campaign gets set up. But we're also have the ability to apply data onto those programmatic buys, whether it's first party data, third-party data or anybody else. We can go ahead and onboard that data and work in a programmatic way that we know we're going to hit at scale, and we can agree on pricing because they've committed that programmatic spend in an upfront. And the interesting thing with the position where Tubi is that we have two businesses, a linear and digital business, converging. And our job here is to make it as easy as possible, whether it's a linear budget or a digital budget to go spend. And now, I mean, they've converged on the agency and holding company side too, but we want to be able to execute a campaign however the advertiser feels. And we're going to have that conversation to do it the most efficient way with the best targeting, what makes sense, this or that. And we don't want to say, no, you can't do that unless it really doesn't make sense, which we still get. But it is that conversation. We're going to allow you to execute any way, whether it's programmatic guaranteed, whether it's through an upfront, whether it's through scatter. We're not going to turn away money right now, because that's really the conversation we want to have. And it's an education that we need to have with those clients. So if they feel comfortable buying Nielsen, we can work with them that way. If they want to buy through PG, they can run that way. And if they want to run with another partner, we can work with them. And Tubi has been well positioned, as we started as an ad tech company first. So we have that option to work multiple ways. PG was made to work with waterfalls and making sure that there wasn't latency within programmatic. And CTV doesn't really have that issue, or at least at Tubi, where we're not there to make sure somebody's filling the 100% of the time. We're there to make sure that we're getting the budgets that we need to hit our incremental reach and frequency.
And finally, Tyler, you guys are doing great. It's been a long haul, fairly long, and exciting times now. What's exciting for you in terms of the work you're doing at Tubi, and what do you hope to accomplish this year?
Yeah, it's never boring here. I think the growth that we've seen, obviously we were acquired last year by Fox, which has been a great learning experience, and they've been a big help in backing us on some of the initiatives that we've had from the content side to the advertising side. So it's really great to see us working together. And I think that's really the interesting thing that we're going to see in 2021, is that a lot of the major media companies all have their OTT solution, and then they have their linear solution. And this year, since last year was kind of a wash in terms of the official upfront, this year everybody's going to come in with their OTT solution or CTV solution. And how does that work? I think that's going to be really interesting, and how each media company is going to come in and present to them and to the holding companies and agencies that we've never seen before. So I think that's really interesting. The ID space is going to be really interesting, and how that affects just user experience, how the customer experience in the free ad supported world. So that's going to be really interesting to see. And then just the growth. Every time we think CTV is going to kind of putter out, it keeps on growing. So it's never surprising around the growth that we see in our space, and are always surprising. And really, what's next? I think our president went on record last week to say that he expects Tubi to be $1 billion business in a year, and we're going to take that on and run with it.